Hello and welcome. Let's do another back in time trading, and this one is going to be very interesting how well this is going to do. This is POT, and this is way back into 2014 using the buy low sell high mechanism. Of course, everything you do within your own risk, own reward. This is research, historical look at this strategy and how this particular market did. So 2001 in and around the current price is where the market is in at this time. So let's get started. So we use a spreadsheet. I'm gonna assume we're starting with the quarter of a Bitcoin, and with the price in at 2001, that 1,000 would buy 2%, and I want to buy a bit more if I got 20, so let's just do 3,000 as a starting investment point. Next step is place buy orders, sell orders, and decide how much to allocate within each. And as this market is playing at this time, it's had some interesting movements to start to show there's lots of profitability to be had. With buy orders at 1,000, 500, and 250, you can easily just keep going in halves. And I'm not going to put the lines in, but you can put your buy orders in around 500, 250, 125, or even 100 on that stage down to 50. And I don't have the lines in, but I definitely have one in around 10,000, maybe 20,000 again. And I'll sell 20% of what was just bought on the early stages. So I don't think it's going to take too long, but realize like 4 or 5 days have passed. You're checking your portfolios. Nothing's happened. A week has passed. Nothing has happened. You check every single day. You click on your orders and no news. Oh, now you got news on this date. A sell order is executed at 2,921. So that would be 600 sold. And we'll put the 29.21 in. You would have sold that for 1.7. Buyer back right where it came from. And there we got the buyback. 600 were sold before for 1.7%. 750 were bought for 144. I could do 800 for 153, still be profiting. Could I do 1,000? Nah, not really, but 800 will work well. And then I'm still going to sell 600 on the other hand, so 200 are kept for later. And then of course we can place a buy order in where needed, rather than of a seller, because the buy order is now at 10,000. So 19 is now moved up. The next play is a buy getting filled at 1052. And because I want to buy 1/3 of my original buy, which was 6%, that's around 2%. That works out to about 2,000. It also means that I have 5,200 in tokens. So let's sell about 1/7 of that. 49 divided by 7 is 700. That means we're selling 100 more. And this sell order will get moved up to, or this buy order now a sell order, set up to about here, 1,800. Only a couple days later it gets hit and you're going to buy it back at that low area. So we'll move her back down again. Oh, wait a second, it's already there at 980. Oh, we can just buy it back. Sweet. Okay, we'll do that now. And we already see we basically got about 50, like half off. So you might as well buy like 1,000 of them. Let's keep going. Ooh, we got the buy at 513, which, by the way, you had the immediate option to sell at 849. Again, this would have been placed from your original buy set. When you bought 6%, so you're buying 2% again. This works out to 4,000 now. That leaves 9,500 back. If you're selling in around 9 to 10 orders, you can easily now afford to sell 1,000 per sale. And I think what I would normally do here is I would sell it now. I would also place an additional sell order somewhere around here and keep that buy order back at 513. So then let's continue on. And there's a situation of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just like over 2 weeks, not doing a thing. This is real stuff that's happening. Now another couple weeks. Did this level hit 513 low? The answer is 501. So yes, a 513 buy in place. And you have the opportunity to sell immediately at 762. And let's do her. So therefore you buy back again at 513 again. But again, you're going days and days and days without anything happening until this sell order comes in at 1194. You have the opportunity to buy back at 875. Generally speaking, I think I would probably wait till about the 750 handle. So therefore, 736, which no surprise the next day would hit. The buybacks that I've been doing after now selling 1,000 is buying back 1,300. So I've added like 600 just by doing this. The total's at 9,100, so I'm still happy and confident to keep it at selling 1,000 per order. This buy order is going to get moved back up again. Let's go. Tricky situation here. I mean, you can go both. I'm just going to go 1,000. Did this buy order hit? I got 513. The low is 512. Wow. That's a hit. Let's assume in this case you were a little late to the computer. You could have sold that and had your order in the day before. Had you done it on that day, oh, I'm going to put a sell order up towards like 780, which would have hit. But we'll assume that you log in the computer at this time and you're going to put one there at 777, which will hit at this time. So then rinse, repeat, put her back lower, wait to see what hits next, and it's the obvious sell order at 1087. Look to buy that cheaper. Within this range, somewhere is usually where I would like to go. Ooh, did it hit? I have 772. The low was 770. Another lucky break. The portfolio at this time would barely be profiting. Average buy 1,000 satoshi, average sale 1,200, but the game is relatively still early on and the market is obviously down since the entry position. Let's place a sell order at the top end of where this came from many times is what I would do. You see it's right around here. And how you do, and there's 2 sell orders that get hit. And the price is already back down to 1,000. How you doing? These 2 sales netted about 3.2% of a Bitcoin. Maybe you want to buy it back about 2.8, 2.9% back. Math is pretty easy. And at 1,000, that's about 2,900. We'll do 2,800 though. And now the token size is in at 10,500. You could easily add another 100 more to the sales. It's increased from 1,000 to 1,100. The only adjustment I want to make with these orders is maybe move this one a little north. Maybe to the 1993 handle. Wait a long time and what would be like days and weeks and even a month before you finally buy at 532. This again was one of the larger buys that you had from the original outset. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was a normal one. But the price is really low. You'd have to think, what would you realistically be buying if you were holding a bankroll of 17% of a bankroll? And 2% of a Bitcoin to me is not a question. Let's do 4,000. How many do you own now? 14,500. It's up the sale to about 1,300 now. Let's move this sale order up to say here. And I guess 250 is the next buy. I don't know if there's a line there. There is. And just in case, you might as well have one stuck around 100 too. So let's continue on forward. Oop, there's a hit. I didn't know that 100 was coming, but that is really how you'd want to do it. 63 is where it came, so 239 and 103 get hit. Keeping in line at 2% of a Bitcoin is where I think I'm going to want to keep this at. But that means your last buy order was for 20,000. And the price at this time, well, it shot up to 310. So you have some serious sell opportunities that would be available. But you would still see that you would be barely down as far as your profit after buying way down there and even getting a decent push from that level. You have 42,500 tokens. You definitely want to sell under 10% now. 3,500 is a major increase from where you were, but that's how you play the game. And you might as well sell one of them right now at 310, so we'll do that. I'm not going to buy back again until 100, and I'd even have a buy order in for probably 50 at this stage now as well. I'm not going to put a line for that. Let's put a sell order in for 528 and move on forward. Only one of the sell orders got hit, and that one was that one I just mentioned. So we'll move this down a bit to this previous range area. And noting that you were in this range at the start of 2015 and now you're into the month of March. You pretty much went all of January and February without a sale here. But here's a situation where you got the sale and the buyback, or the buy and the sell back, basically. Because whenever I see a situation when a market is trading in a range like this and I happen to get a buy order and it just goes right back to where it came from, I'm always going to sell there. And I'll put a buy order, I mean, pretty much perfect spot before. Maybe I would reduce it just a bit because I barely want to overcut the low and I want to overcut key numbers like 300. So maybe 320, 315. And I already know what happens the next few days after seeing it, and it happens again. So there's a buy at 320 and a sell at 458. But in this case, because I'm selling for less, the market went lower, I'm going to reduce this line a bit. My next buy order is not till 100 anyway. So I think it's back down to the 250 number at this stage. And I missed. See, I missed. That'll happen. That'll happen. And the last you updated your portfolio was in March, and here you are into June, and nothing has happened. You move into July, nothing has happened. You move into September, a half a year without a trade. Now you could have made some along the way. I guess the buy order at 251 gets hit. That'll happen. It did. I guess we got something to sell up top now. So we'll move this up to maybe this key resistance area below 500. Does it hit? I think it might have. I have a 103. They usually hit 100 even all the time anyway. Number was 100. That's why you do those key numbers. That's why I do them anyway. I'm going to increase the sell tokens from 4,000 to 4,500. As there is now over 50,000 in place. 50 would be where I would buy next. But we'll take the sale at 293. Statistics, starting with a quarter of a bankroll, has it set in at barely profiting. And the thing is way down at that point from where you started. It was at like 2,000. Now it's at 293 at this point. It's going to go way higher, obviously. But for now, you're doing pretty good in a down market. Always pretty cool when that can be the case. Let's drop this line over here and hit the buy. Okay, so we'll bring her back up here. Oh, we got the sale at this point. Let's move that back lower. Yeah, here looks good. Oh, that just missed, but we got her back at 488. Back in the game. Now with the market, which was way down from when you started, now it's, well, still way down, but not as much. 542 market price. 41% of a Bitcoin. That's a gain of about 60+%, about 61% maybe, but it's a gain. Let's drop this sell order into a buy order, and I mean key level in here, decent enough return, a little over the 350 number would be good. But instead, the next order is a sell order. When these things go, they go. This at this time is going. Now your portfolio is worth over 2/3 of a Bitcoin. That's better than double. Now, as far as the sell order is concerned, at 1,000, you know what? Let's go 50% off. Let's go 500. I'm sure I got other buy orders in. Do I not? If not, let's make sure that I do. I do. 28, 19, yep, 13. They're all ready to go. And let's keep going forward. Okay. Let's put these sell orders in. We'll see where we stand. Probably doing pretty good financially at this time. So we'll write these numbers in. 1364, 1993. There was also 2887. There was 4759. My next sell order would have been close to about 10,000. So even though it went up to 7,000, the highest I would have got was that 47. Everything selling right now is at 4,500. Current price at that time was 46.79. Which meant your portfolio up to 1.88 Bitcoin. Remember, it was just barely up, and it was barely a little over double, and it was even down at one point. Your Bitcoin number is at 69%. Average buy 381, average sell 1274. Well, I mean, these pumps really do help that. How do you buy back? At this time, your highest buy order is 500. Price is at 4,600. So let's stick this 1,300 one at about 750. 703. I mean, this is where you want to get really greedy and get low buy orders, because there's a good chance that you can be able to buy and it's going to go much lower than that, especially with what we already know about these coins, but what we even know about cryptocurrencies. Bring this to 1,000. This one at 28, might go about 1,400 maybe somewhere around in here. And this one, no need to go to even 2,000. Get better than 50% off. Now it's time to manage your sells. And do you want to sell more right now? And the answer to that, you could. I mean, you have a decent amount, I think, in tokens. You got 25,000, so you can definitely afford to sell some. We were selling at 4,500, which means that you got about 5 or so orders before you run out. What you could do is, like, until you get buy orders come back, you can reduce your sell orders to like 3,000. And then where you would have them, just in case, 10,000, and then maybe every 5,000 or every 7,500 points from thereafter. But as we can see, your first buy order the very next day got hit at 2,083. Well, how much would you buy there? Well, your last sell order, you got 21% of a Bitcoin, you sold 4,500. You could easily buy double than that and you're paying less. You definitely want to buy at least that. So around 6,000, 7,000 is usually the area I would consider. Big jump from your last buy at 183. So we'll go 6,000, costing 12% of a Bitcoin, but that's a fraction of the 21 that you sold it for before, from before. Where you want to sell? Well, for now, I'm going to go way up top because I still want to fill in these buys. And this buy would have got filled. I think I have 1506. The actual bottom is 1460. To sell before that was it at 12%. So you'd want to 7, 8%, 9%. If you did 6,000 again, that would be 9%. So that works out well. So now that you bought a couple, you got 37,000 back. 10%, a little more than that, is 4,000. So until another buy comes in, let's sell at 4,000 the rest of the way. This sell order, just move a little bit above here. But the buy order gets hit. Move that to a sell order below. And above that is, and it actually gets executed. So we'll buy her back again. We're somewhere maybe around a little over 1,000. $1,001. I have 1,004. That's a hit. So we'll put it back below previous high and sell at previous high. And the buyback is always like where it came from area. Maybe the top part of it. Ooh, it came close. This is where you miss out. You miss out on that party. But you got it back in here, 1281. And I think with 49,000 tokens, up to over a Bitcoin still in profit, you can go back to selling 4,500 from what was 4,000. Let's continue further, but we'll need to make this a sell order. Only one got hit, but we'll take it. And then you move it back down to where it came from. A little over 15. But we'll get two sell orders at 38 and 52. Now the volatile bankroll, which started at a quarter bankroll, never even came close to using that much funds, is worth 2.5 Bitcoin. Back to the buybacks after insane pumps. This little area of resistance looks fun to me. And for this one, how about this area of resistance? Oh, that one hits. And where do you think I'm going to sell? Yeah, where it came from, back in here. That'll work. Although $49.99 could oftentimes work, but hey, we see 52 got a bit better of reward than 49. Either way, they both work. 5,200's a sale. Now where I would buy that is back to this upper area around here. So we can see we'll just take the 33.71 buy. And then of course bring this number back up again. And another sell order hits. So let's move this back again down to here. And see the buy order hit at 36.52. And then sell it back at that beautiful spot that always seems to hit. And it did again. And we can see that it's going to buy back. But let's be real here. You're going to buy it back probably somewhere around here, but 53 sale, and we'll go 3,500 buy. However, the last time I did a spot, like at the start of this, when I accidentally rolled an extra day, I'm going to use that same situation to come in, and the price will be 34.12 as far as the buy is concerned. So therefore, after buying that, you put a sell order back at 53 again, and notice that the 53 would get converted and put it back. So 53.12 and put the buy order back around 35. And I remember I have sell order at around 10,000. I don't think I have a line in for it. The low, I'm 20 lower. The 35.60 was the low. I have 35.40, but it hits right there. The value at the price satoshi level 33.70 is in at 2.45. You could maybe go up. You're a little under 10%. So I'm going to probably keep it at 4,500, but you could start to consider selling at 5,000 or 5,500 share lot sizes soon. And let's continue on further. We need a sell order first, so let's put that back and let's go for a nice one right around here with around 10,000, 15, and 20 after that. Okay, this is the buy order, which comes in at 21.56. So we'll move this into a sell position, and this area looks fine for me. But instead, another buy order comes in. It's now falling, and the price action was bought at 15.25. Price action now has the bankroll at 1.43 Bitcoin, and the last trade was 14.23, 66,000, and therefore you might want to definitely not consider going higher. So let's put the sell orders in at 6,000 each now. Of course, you need to have another sell order, so we'll put one up here. And there we had the most recent situation in which this happened. Just for fun, I'm going to presume that I did have a sell order around midnight. It would have been most likely not, but just because this is, I'm having fun with this game, we'll say 9,600 was a sell order, but every single one of these would have been executed. I only had 3 in, but we'll put them in. So let's assume you were selling 6,000 at a time. You sold for 53%, 40%, 30, and 18% of a Bitcoin. There goes 24,000 tokens, and the price action is down to 18.24. How many are you going to buy now? Let's assume that you just bought the 24,000 that you sold. And if you did so, you would do so at 18.24. That would be about 43.8% of a Bitcoin. And you just hit it for well over 1. So maybe you want to have some fun. You buy 36,000 because you're taking a portion of your profits to add to the amount of tokens. You just added 12,000. And then the remainder of it would be profit towards your Bitcoin balance. So therefore, there would be definite reason why you'd want to put your sell order back in here. And then consider how much do I want to sell for? I just bought a whole bunch more. Price action again, 18.24. Your value is 2 2/3 of a Bitcoin. You got 78,000. So you pretty much go 7,500 now. And then it just happened again. That's where we stand right now. So 3 of them would get executed. And then with the price at and then we're going to be buying back. We'll just do the same thing again now. 15, 22,000 and change. So let's just assume you buy 30,000 or 28,000 even at 2140. Your Bitcoin value is now at 3.5. It's just went up even on the short-term level. You never really did start with 0.25. I don't even think there was more than 0.16 or 0.15 added into this. But it would move up to 3.5 in just one code. If you were doing that amount with like so many others, some other ones would have some nice profits. Maybe not as nice as this. Average sale turns out to be 1,473. You sold for 3.38. The whole secret of when you know you can do good and you've already hit your code well is when your net buys subtract sells is noticeable. 230 minus 146, you can notice that you've got an okay amount, but your net return that you've sold is greater than what you bought it for, which always means that your net sale average, which is what the whole point is to do, becomes greater significantly and such than your net buy cost. And in this case, you'd be just rolling it through and keeping the game in play. Now, if you were able to sell like your whole portfolio here that you had in this code, buy it back. Sell your whole portfolio again, and I mean, you could do really, really well. But this was the first time, as I was going through this entire history, there ever was a day like this, and this just occurred on November the 6th, and then just another one like this occurs just 2 weeks later. And the easiest way to profit on these, as we can see, is when you have the sell orders ready to go and buy them back, just as I've been showing. This is how I like to play it, and I'm just sharing another example of such. Now, they don't always work too well, as VOX is one, and maybe this might have been profiting, but this one would have been hard to profit. This is a code that started off around 10,000 satoshi, rallied up to 200,000, falls down to 5,000, rallies up to 15,000, but then it falls to 1,800, rallies to 5,000, and now it's down to 500. If you started playing in here, you're going to get a few hits, some plays back and forth, but this is a type of chart that can hurt you when you're playing this game. While you want to have your risk reward management set up so that you can control your losses, because I showed you great profitability that can happen, but this is some great lossability that can happen as well. And when you're not chasing these too much and you have ones that make 10, 20 times greater, then it makes it easy to allocate some losers that will happen, especially if you're making this play amongst 20, 30, 40 different codes. I was showing the example of when you would go days, weeks, and almost a full year in one of these cases without a single trade. That's going to happen. And when you're holding 40, 50, 60, 80 different coins like this, if the average coin can go sometimes several weeks without a trade, that means it's common sometimes to maybe only have one or two maybe different transactions per day, maybe multiple per week. And if you're only holding maybe 5 or 6, you might only get a transaction 2 or 3 per week. And then of course, when these things go wild, it's not uncommon to see yourself get a couple sell orders come in and you're going to buy the next day and maybe sell like 6 days later. That is common action as we're seeing. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day.